What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV, coming to you live after the trade deadline has come and gone. Hello to everybody in chat. Good to see everyone. A lot of activity here. I'm not surprised, of course, with some roster moves to talk about. Darius Shepard, we hardly knew ye. You had to figure the writing was on the wall after he let that punt trickle down to the 2-yard line. Just the latest in a number of mistakes from the young man. You feel for him. It's tough business. Maybe he makes it through. I think he probably will make it through waivers. Maybe they bring him back on the practice squad, although I doubt it. We'll see. What's good with it, Nagy, Stephen? That's probably the most original way that question has been asked. Things are going well. How is everyone out there? Just this for a little bit, get a little comfy while I talk to you fine folks. Kawhi, hey. Crosby kicking the ball well lately. Everything has been dead center and splitting the uprights. No funky movement on the ball off his foot. Well, thanks for bringing it up because now he's going to miss one. I'm kidding. I agree. He has been kicking it well. They've got the operation down, which is always nice. Meister, what's up? If he doesn't make it through waivers, I'll eat my hat. Yeah, exactly. Big mistake not going after another receiver. Our guys outside of Aaron Jones were zero threat in KC. No separation in man coverage against that defense is not a good sign. Matthew, have you missed the last 4 weeks? Have you been asleep for a month? They have scored more points every week, pretty much, until this last week. They still scored over 30 without Davante Adams, and they're getting Davante Adams back. Why? Calm, Aaron. Calm. I saw someone compare Sternberger to Jeremy Shockey during the draft process. Do you see the comparison? I think Sternberger is actually probably a bit more athletic down the seam / downfield than Shockey. I thought Shockey, production-wise, maybe the comparison is apt, but I thought Shockey was a better blocker and a little bit more physical as a player, but it's not terrible. Why cut 2 and only sign 1? Mark, undoubtedly they will be bringing back either Sternberger off of IR or Ibrahim Campbell. Both of them have been practicing the last 2 weeks. The Packers have just yet to activate either one of them. And there's no reason to do it right now. They can probably wait until Saturday if they want, but we'll see which one of those guys ends up getting the spot. And maybe it's somebody else. You never really know. But they do have to make a decision on both of them because once that 3rd week is up in the window, they have to be either activated to the 53-man roster or placed on injured reserve for the remainder of the year. We are still talking about receivers. Shoot it into the sun. Hey, man, I'm with you. I am with you. Do you think Raven Green is the answer to our cover inside linebacker situation? Do we know what his status is? Well, if they do end up bringing Sternberger back, they can have one more player brought back from IR for the remainder of the season, and Green is certainly a candidate. However, it's tough to say without really knowing how serious his injury is. We're not privy to the medical information. It feels like it would be a little bit soon for that to happen. Could he be the answer? Yeah, I'd be interested in giving Oren Burke some more snaps. I thought he played well 2 weeks ago, and then he was pretty much shut out by his coaches on Sunday night. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of direction they want to go there. Has there been a running back pair as good as this in the green and gold? Yeah, I'd go back to Edgar Bennett and Dorsey Levens. Reminds me a lot of that tandem, actually, with Jones being the Levens and Williams being the Edgar Bennett type. Will Ryan Grant get released once Adams is ready? Brian, there's a good chance, yes, that will happen. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they keep him around now that Shepard is gone, but I think there's a good chance that he's released. Blake in coverage is a liability. Yes. Well, he certainly was on the Kelsey touchdown. He got caught looking in the backfield, got caught looking at the quarterback. Clearly didn't see Kelsey slip down, behind him. I think he's actually kind of improved in that area of the game overall. That play in particular was a nightmare. But, you commend him for playing through the hand, obviously, but he's got to raise his level of play. There's no doubt about it. When are we signing Usain Bolt? You guys are funny. If Sternberger isn't back, do we lose a designation? Pretty much, yeah. They have to, once they utilize it, they have to make the decision to either activate him or put him on the 53. You don't get another one. Am I disappointed they didn't make any moves? Travis, they made moves. They cut 2 guys, and they brought Tremont Smith up from the practice squad. I mean, I know what you're saying. No, I'm not disappointed at all. Am I the only one who notices Corey Linsley's low snaps? Mark, you and everybody else on the internet. But it's just something he does sometimes when he needs to get out of his stance a little quicker. And he and Aaron have a really good rapport, and Rodgers doesn't mind having to dip down a little lower sometimes to go get a handle on the football. There was that one, I think it was against Minnesota earlier this year, where he skipped it along the ground. That you don't want to see, obviously. But sometimes he just needs to get moving quick, and that's the result. What do you like about this team, Nags? A lot. I like the offensive line. I like the quarterback. I like the weapons all around. I love the talent along the defensive line. I think they got a ball-hawking secondary. There's a lot to like. I'm pretty sure EQ isn't eligible to return this year. That is correct. Equanimeous St. Brown cannot return in 2019. He was placed on IR the day before the team announced their 53-man roster, which means that he is not eligible. To be able to return during the season, you have to be on the initial 53-man roster, which he was not. Did Gutekunst try to get a middle linebacker in the trade deadline? Eric, not that I saw reported or heard, but that's why they went and got B.J. Goodson this summer. Everyone's saying they got to make a move for an inside linebacker. They did in August, and he's been pretty decent for him. He had a big hand in the goal line stand against the Raiders 2 weeks ago. Can you recap who they cut, or for those late to the game like me, Mark? Sure, they cut Darius Shepard and Evan Bayless, who is a tight end that has bounced back and forth between the practice squad and the 53-man roster a few times now this year. You may remember him catching a touchdown in preseason. But Shepard, the return man / wide receiver, has been pretty disappointing. Obviously, his rookie year as an undrafted free agent was a great story coming out of camp, but just has not cut it as far as trying to step up during the regular season. And after cutting those 2 guys, one of the roster moves they made to replace the guys they had cut, they're bringing Tremont Smith back up from the practice squad to be their kick returner. He's the guy they got off of waivers from Kansas City earlier this season. The Real DK, thank you for the super chat. 30 teams don't trade today, but our team is dumb. LOL. Yeah, it was a quiet day on the trade front. I just think teams are really overvaluing their own players, which is always what happens in the NFL, partly due to the fact that the NFL has such an early trade deadline. If EQ was playing, do you think that shuts the people who want a wide receiver up? No. There's a false sense of available talent in terms of cover inside linebackers. There's only a handful of them in the NFL who are very good. I don't know why everyone thinks we just go get one. Noah, thank you. Could not agree more. Let's see what else we got. 2 for Robert Anderson is ludicrous. Jets were never getting that. Michael, of course they weren't, but you always start high, right? The report from Chris Mortensen on ESPN was that someone had offered a 4th and the Jets wanted a 2nd. So obvious answer there. Well, okay, let's meet in the middle for a 3rd. But clearly nobody in the league thought he was worth a 3rd-round pick, including the Packers, and I commend them for it because he's not. I love Alan Lazard. He plays rough. Christopher, couldn't agree more. He is a physical guy. He is undoubtedly a football player, a guy who, with the ball in his hand or no, he is ready to get physical, whether it is trying to get yards after the catch, whether it's blocking in the run game. He is not afraid to get his nose dirty, and I'm here for it. Could Mo Wilkerson not help the run defense on the cheap? Maybe, Trey, but he's got legal problems and is dealing with a suspension from the league, so I don't see the Packers going down that road. Go Pack Go from Charlotte. What's up, Tommy? The NFC playoffs are going to be insane. Yes, they are, Cliff. I was looking at that earlier today when I was looking at Football Outsiders, their DVOA updates every week. Packers are now in the top 5 for their kind of Super Bowl contenders and are sitting at a 90% chance to make the playoffs, which you love to see. But yeah, you look around the NFC, there are a lot of talented teams. It could break a lot of different ways. I'm excited to watch it unfold the second half of the season and see how things shake out. What is up with our open field tackling? I don't know, Bryce, but they have got to get it fixed. That was atrocious on Sunday night. They looked like how they looked in preseason. I mean, we all remember just guys throwing themselves at ball carriers' feet, shoulder tackles galore, not wrapping up, time and time and time, play after play after play. Can't live like that. Can't do it. And they had done a better job coming out of camp, coming out of the summer into the first part of the season. They had really kind of improved in that area, but wow, that was rough to watch. It was hard to watch on Sunday night. Need to fix that. Are you still of the belief that Blake's going to require too much cheese to re-sign Nagler? Yeah, Brandon, absolutely. Supply and demand. He's still leading the league in tackles. Like, you guys can bitch and moan about him all you want, but he's still productive. And you look around the league, a lot of teams are going to have a boatload of cap space, and they'll throw it after him. You know, that's just how it works. How dark is the doghouse Oren Burks is in? I have no idea. It's a really good question, though. I thought he could have helped them on Sunday night. Q King, thank you for the super chat. What are your thoughts on Adams returning and Jones going off? Well, I'm anxious to get Adams back out there. For what I sense is your kind of what you're pointing to here is imagine how much damage Aaron Jones can do once the defenses have to worry about Davante Adams. Are you kidding me? When they have to roll coverage to him, you send Adams deep and then work Jones behind him. Oh, daddy, sign me up. What's up with Bulaga's finger? Well, we don't have an official designation, but it sure sounds like he messed something up, and they've got to figure out how to get him on the field on Sunday afternoon. Now, LaFleur didn't sound worried about it when he was asked about it yesterday, but he's the coach who, of course, has not given us anything in regards to injuries. I'll be very interested to see what Brian Bulaga says when the locker room is open tomorrow. I love all the attention Jones is getting, but what about the love for Williams? Oh, Emily Williams gets his love. I gave him a little shout out on Twitter yesterday, but I hear you. I mean, Jones is just so dynamic and has been so productive. It's hard not to give Aaron Jones a bunch of love. But yeah, Jamal's been great. That catch he had in the corner of the end zone was absolutely insane. That was one of the best plays of the season, no question. And everyone's focusing on the Aaron Rodgers throw for good reason. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's amazing. But none of that matters if Williams doesn't make that catch. It's incredible. It's funny because the revelation, kind of like you're pointing out here, has been Aaron Jones in the passing game and his production, etc. But I don't think too many people have noticed how productive Williams has been in the passing game. He's actually been hasn't been given as many opportunities, but he's been crazy productive when he's been given the chance. You talk about a legitimate 1-2 punch. Absolutely love it. Let's see what else we got. We got people talking about LA. What about Usain Bolt? We already talked about that. No, not going to happen. Do you think the Pack goes after an inside linebacker next offseason? I think they certainly look to the draft. It's a position that they've traditionally devalued a little bit, but who knows how that plays out. Depending on who was available in the draft, we're a long way away from that. But I tend to think, my hunch would be they look to draft somebody rather than sign somebody in free agency. Trey, thanks for the super chat. Extension for Jones this offseason? Certainly trending that way. We'll see how they prioritize things when it comes to Kenny Clark, etc. But Jones is certainly playing himself into a payday. There's no doubt about it. J.K. Scott needs to get back to booming punts and about 20 exclamation points. Rick, I agree. Rough night at the office for the weapon on Sunday night. Let's just hope it's not a point of the season where the weather starts to turn and then all of a sudden his usefulness and effectiveness takes a turn as well. Hopefully it's just a couple of bad missed kicks. Do you see Pett lining up Campbell at linebacker for coverage situations? Matthew, absolutely 1,000% I do. Obviously, they have to activate him off PUP first, but yes, I think that's where he will help exponentially. He was their best tackler by a large margin last year for the 3 weeks he was out there. And if he can hit the ground running, which is no given, just because he's back or would be back doesn't mean he's going to just automatically pick up where he left off last year. Look no further than Geronimo Allison for an example of that. But I do think he would help if he can round back into the shape he was in when he was in a Packers uniform last season, he will help immediately and immensely. Mike, thanks for the super chat. Will Smith be the punt returner too, or just kickoffs? Well, that's a good question. He didn't do a ton of punt returning in Kansas City, but they had Tyreek Hill. He did do. He was on punt returns in college, but so was Jair Alexander, and we saw him muff his 2 first opportunities at punt return last season. My hunch is they'll put Tramon back there and just forget it. He's obviously not a dynamic guy as a returner, but you can count on him. He's got sure hands, etc. But maybe we'll see. I know Tramon will. Smith will definitely be doing kick returns. We'll see on punts. Might be something we ask Coach tomorrow, which I'm sure he won't tell us anything. Q King, thank you for the super chat. I hope we will see that Williams TD play again. Jones was wide open almost immediately. Yeah, that's funny how that works, right? But hey, multiple options is what it's all about. Give that quarterback outlets to go with the football. Chase, is Kevin King good? Yes. He had a rough night at the office on Sunday night. No question about it. Still a good player. Would they ever let Aaron Jones field punts? I mean, maybe. I doubt it. Maybe in an emergency situation. He did take some punt return stuff in camp. We've seen him back there in practice and stuff, but I'd be surprised if they threw him back there in a game unless it was everybody else went down. How good can Aaron Jones be, in your opinion? How good? Great. The ceiling is the floor is the ceiling. What's the ceiling? Do you guys understand what you're watching? He is one of the best backs in the league. Mark is 0. Maybe he can, cure cancer next. The guy has done everything that is asked of him, and he is absolutely killing it. Production in every which way, as far as on the ground, in the air, he's absolutely 100% improved in pass protection. What more can he do? Maybe he won't get the recognition nationally. Maybe the numbers won't be there because he does split time with Jamal Williams. But, one of the best backs in the league. Done. End of discussion. The Nags abides. Market 0. The Packers have such a tough schedule this year. It's a schedule. They're all tough. Week in, week out is tough in the NFL. It ain't Alabama playing cream puffs at the beginning of their schedule. You gotta win those games and take it one week at a time, just like LaFleur says. It is a weird schedule in that they had so many home games early and they have so many away games late. But you still got to play those games, home and away, regardless of time of year or where they fall back to back, etc. It's part of the gig. What about Amos returning punts? I don't love it. Snow in Green Bay. Games are starting to seem real. I know, right? You get that turn. That turn in the calendar is always great. Start to wear your coats, your heavy clothing, get the sweater on, your hoodie. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my God. Aaron Rodgers, whoever this is, you're an idiot. Ted Thompson sucked Josh Jones over Alvin Kamara. You don't need Alvin Kamara. You have Aaron Jones. He's just as good as Alvin Kamara, and he's proving that now that he's getting opportunities. Open your eyes. Stop being a hater. Thank you. Alvin Kamara is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is Alvin Kamara. Finkel is Einhorn. Good Lord. Mike Witt, thanks for the super chat. Jones is LaFleur's Todd Gurley in this offense. Very much so. Does Vitale finally get his score this week, Nags? I hope so. If Rodgers would have hit him on that angle route, he might have scored. Don't get me all started here. I'm bitter. I hope so. I want Danny Vitale in the end zone. Going to be great seeing Lambeau West Cheeseheads invade NRG. Oh, I got to think that's going to be like 80% Packers fans on Sunday. It's going to be insane. Back when they were in San Diego, the last time the Packers played there, it was like 60% Packers fans. And that was a big-ass stadium. For this stadium that sits, 30,000 people, 35,000 people? It's going to be like 30,000 Packers fans. It's going to be crazy. I mean, did you see when Pittsburgh was there a couple weeks ago? It's going to be like that. It's going to be nuts. What's up with Josh Jackson? He's not seeing the field is what's up with Josh Jackson. And more so, why he's not seeing the field is because of Chandon Sullivan. Do you see that big third down breakup to Travis Kelce over the middle, which stopped that Chiefs drive at the end of the game, which resulted in the punt, which resulted in the 4-minute offense, etc.? Chandon Sullivan is playing good football. And he may not be the most athletic. He may not be the biggest name, but he's the reason Josh Jackson can't see the field. There's a good reason for it. Where's Aunt Gert? I don't know. Corey just left. That's a good question. Do the Chargers suck? Ooh, well, let's say they're not good. I'll be charitable. Does Adams start this Sunday? Great question. We'll get our first inkling tomorrow. I still maintain probably the Panthers game, but we'll see. We'll see. There's a chance. There's at least a chance this week. I hadn't thought there was a chance at any point in the last 4 or 5 weeks, but this week, there's a chance. More iconic, your beard or BJ Raji? Definitely BJ Raji. Is our defense declining? I don't think it's declining. I do think they gotta shore up letting these explosive plays happen. That's been an issue in a big way. But hey, Andy Reid is one of the best at what he does, and he put on a clinic on Sunday night as far as motion, taking advantage of things. I don't think the defense is probably as bad as maybe you're thinking, but they've got to improve in a lot of areas. And number one is tackling. Mike, thanks for the super chat. Another watch party Sunday, probably. I think it's trending that way. Let's say that. Matt, thanks for the super chat. First time catching one of these live. Love Cheesehead TV. Well, Matt, thanks so much. That's why we do this. We love Packers fans. We're devoted to Packers fans worldwide. Speaking of which, it's about time for me to jump. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to your questions. There are 560 people here. You guys are amazing. Please hit like, subscribe, support what we do at Cheesehead TV. If you do like what we do, please consider giving us $5 a month on our Patreon. It supports not only the video side, but the website, the developer costs, host costs, etc. Everything. I mean, and studio costs. We're in the process actually of making a podcast room where we're going to be doing watch parties, My Extra Cheese, Packers Transplants, everything that we produce video-wise in one spot. And that doesn't come cheap. So if you want to support what we do, please, like I said, hit up Patreon. In the meantime, check out cheeseheadtv.com for all the latest on the Green Bay Packers. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night.